Greetings, Math 111 students. This is Dr. Dawn. Just giving you some references after you've taken notes on section 3.1, measures of center. So hopefully you have filled in the blanks that were there with the appropriate terms. I do want to just point out that you can have more than one mode. You can have more than two modes. It's however many values are the most frequent. So let's say you have a value that appears the most times is 10 times in a data set, and maybe 4 different numbers appear 10 times each. That would mean you have 4 modes. And so that is a possibility. The median, it do want to point out that it says in a sorted set of data. So in other words, your data needs to be arranged in order from smallest to biggest. Then you find the number in the middle. Now, if there are 2 numbers in the middle, so if the data set has an even number of values, what you will do is add those and divide by 2, find the mean of those values to get the median. And then the mean is what we think of as an average. Add all the values together and divide by the number of values there are. But all of them are referred to as an average. So keep that in mind. The other thing that's going to become really important, especially when it comes to the symbols for the mean, that would be the most important of all of these, is what the symbols are, how you pronounce them, and how they are used. And so I do want to point out that the symbol for the mean is this, it's a Greek letter. It's a Greek letter mu. So mu is how you say that. Like a cat says mew. Kind of looks like a U with an extra tail. And that is the symbol for the population mean. Now, that means that you have to know whether or not you're dealing with a population or a sample to know which symbol to use, because how you calculate the mean does not change. You add up all the values and you divide by the number of data values, whether it's a population or a sample. So again, you have to know which symbol to use. If it's a sample, we use the symbol X with a line across the top, and we say this one as X bar. And again, we need to know which is which. For the size of the population or the sample, we use the letter N, a capital N representing a population, and a lowercase n if it's a sample. Any single data value, regardless of whether it's a population or sample, is symbolized by a letter X. And then when you want to add up all the data values, this symbol here, which is a sigma, it's a Greek letter, that means add up. So whenever you see that sigma and then the X, that means add up all of the X values or add up all of the data values. And so you will see that periodically as a little bit of a shortcut. And again, our general rounding rule is we're going to round most of the time 1 decimal point further than what the data is. Okay, so if the data goes to 2 decimal places, we will round to 3 decimal places. If the data is whole numbers, then we will have 1 decimal place that we will keep as accuracy. Now, example 1, this example here is going to be in your little 10 question or 10 point quiz. So that one you will work through and you will submit those answers in Canvas. But working on to example 2, we will go ahead and discuss that. So first thing, it says a student takes a random sample. So we know this is a sample of regular unleaded gas prices in her area and gets the data below. So what is the population? So the population, she took a random sample, but the population would be all gas prices in her area. Now that could be the city, the county, we don't really know, but since she's taking just samples from her area, whatever that is, the population would go bigger than the sample, but again, stay in her area. What is the variable? So what is she measuring? She is measuring the price per gallon of gas. Find the mean, median, and the mode. So again, for the mean, you're going to add up those 8 values and then divide by 8. So when I added up all of those values, I got 28.77. And when I divide by 8 and round, and I'm going to go ahead and round to the nearest penny because, again, this is money, and so it doesn't make sense to go one decimal place past our value. So for us, we're going to have a mean of $3, and it's 596, and so 596 would round to 60. This is the mean, and it is based on a sample, so that is X bar. The median is the number in the middle. So again, if I count my data values, there's 8 of them, 4 and 4. My median is the one that is smack dab in between my 349 and my 368. So add those together, you get $7.17. Divide by 2, and I get 3.585. So my median is 3.585. And if you would want to say that that's $3.59, that would be okay. And then the mode is the most frequent value, and there's only one value that appears more than once. That happens to be $3.68. Finally, if we take the population to be all gas stations in the United States, can we assume our sample will be exactly the same as the population parameter or the population mean? And I'm hoping at this point you would say, no, we know it's not going to be the same. Oops, sorry, I have my highlighter on still and not my pen. So no, they're not going to be the same. So the sample represents a few gas stations in one area of the country. It should not be likely, or it is not likely, that the sample mean will equal the population mean. And that concludes the video on the first part of section 3.1.